Hello, everyone, and welcome to Canadians with Disabilities and Their Allies, also known as PWD Allies podcast. You can enjoy the podcast right here on YouTube and also on your favorite app that you enjoy, Spotify, you name it, you find it, and listen to us on the show, on your favorite podcast app. So today, I'm just going to give a free advertising and our upcoming guest, and that will be Jean Swanson. Yeah, Jean Swanson is a former Vancouver City Councillor. Jean is well known for her strong advocacy, especially against poverty. She wants to eliminate poverty. Poverty doesn't need to exist. It never has needed to exist anyway. But Jean is going to be coming on the show very soon. So stay tuned on that one when she's coming up. She's going to be talking not just on poverty.
Well,
She's
we
gonna be
we can
talking,
we can say the day. It's
oh
September
yeah,
September 8th.
yeah,
September 8th
exactly.
is when she's coming.
Soon it's September 8th at
Yeah,
10:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time,
yeah.
and that will be 1:45 Eastern Standard Time for those folks in Ontario.
It actually might be closer to 10:55 because
Well, it's 10:45 is the time that we come on. That's not
yeah,
on
it's the secret time that we come on.
That's the secret time,
You're not
folks.
supposed to know the secret time.
So the secret time, that's actually when you want to come on as a guest. Okay? So that the time is 45 when you want to come on, but the time that you get to watch Gene Swanson is from 5 to the hour,
Yeah,
or maybe on the hour. It's you just give or take, but
we usually launch five
yeah,
minutes
well,
before the hour. Yeah.
but that Jean is going to be coming on. She's going to be talking about homelessness also.
Hmm.
She's going to be talking. She's going to be talking about a whole bunch of things about climate, justice. I mean, rent
Well,
control.
I talked to her on the phone just yesterday, actually, and
Oh,
because I reached out to her on Twitter, and she says, "Give me a call." So I just
yeah.
called her up, and she said, "Well, I've never really done too much talks about PWD, discussions or PWD poverty." And I said, "Well, PWD poverty is a huge deal." And I
Mhm.
said, to
It,
have somebody like you to come on and talk about poverty just in general would be huge. And so she's on board, and she's, I think, really excited to come on. And I think it'll be really good
oh,
discussion.
absolutely. It affects everybody's lives.
Hmm.
Poverty. I mean, there's so many people living in poverty, especially people with disabilities, seniors, low-income people. I mean, it's now even affecting people in the higher tax bracket. Now they're really feeling the pinch. So if they're feeling the pinch and they got a really good income coming in, they're feeling the pinch. Imagine, folks, people on lower income, fixed incomes.
Hmm.
Fixed incomes. Wow, I mean, people with disabilities, they used to be a pension at one time, and we're going to dive into talking about that. Hopefully, when Jean Swanson comes on, we're going
Yeah.
to be talking about that issue
I
too.
think it'd be awesome if she could give us a little bit of a history lesson
Yeah,
about
I just
the
understand that
politics and in all of BC.
what
Actually, it'd
happened.
be interest.
Yeah,
It'd
and
be
what
interesting.
happened way back when.
Hmm.
Just so people understand of how things are now. Like
Hmm.
what policy decisions were made years ago, how they now affect people's lives like back then, going forward, where things are going, why is there so much homelessness, why is poverty even still a talking point of, especially even like the ministry in BC, like they call it poverty reduction. Like, poverty reduction. Well, the rates are so below
Yeah.
poverty, and that's not reduced.
Yeah, I always have the joke and say it. They should call it poverty
Poverty
renewal.
renewal or poverty escalation, because
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
don't raise the rates above a livable amount, all you're doing is suppressing it down. So
Hmm.
really, it's poverty escalation.
Hmm.
I don't even know who came up with that idea, the
Yeah,
name. It needs to be gone. Like it's so
yeah.
old, it's ancient.
Well, we talked a bit about that on Christian's episode.
That's right.
We just wrapped it up, and so if you want to watch that, you can. But we talked about how history is important, and we need to learn from our history. And just changing the name of your party, it's not really helpful, because I think we need to learn from our history, whether it's good or bad. You know.
Yeah, it's it doesn't matter like who's in government really. Like it's nonpartisan here. Like and that's why I want everyone to understand. Like what I'm saying here is it's nonpartisan.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have policies that are written decades and decades ago, and they haven't been renewed, they haven't been. I don't even know why they've been put in that way in the first place. But recognizing that a party made a mistake for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever made that decision or decisions,
Mm-hmm.
learn from it. Learn from it. Okay, like we made a mistake. Own that mistake and say, look, I messed up. I apologize. I messed up. I'm gonna do better. How can I do better? So advocates teaching the politicians, yes, this is what we need to see. So okay,
Talking about correcting mistake, like
yeah,
I've often wondered, like, because we all know that all these things are legislated, right? We talk about legislated poverty, but
yes,
every decision that the government makes, at the end of the day, it's legislated. And
it is. It's like,
for me, of course, my big thing is the clawbacks. So
that's
way back in 1993, 94, in that area there, that is when Mike Harcourt legislated this whole idea of clawbacks. But it wasn't just him, of course. It was the entire government that sat and they legislated it. They voted on it. You'd like to think that they talked about it. They debated about it. And that's my question: is I wonder how, if I could go back in time to 1993, 1994, somewhere in there, I would love to go back in time and be a fly on the wall and 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 hear the type of discussion that was going on. If like I've got this idea, like you can just see like Mike Harcourt, I've got this great idea of invalidating pensions. Isn't that
you know
great? And
if we could just get Doc Brown's time machine and
yeah,
get Marty to fly it back and
but
punch it.
I would love to know like how that whole conversation went, how that whole debate went, and how the hell or however, like people agreed on it and saying, yeah, this is great. We're going to invalidate pensions. Great. Wonderful. Let's start clawing back pensions. Great idea. Wonderful idea, Mike. Kudos to you.
Yeah.
Like I would love to like there had to have been debate. There had to have been discussion, and I would have loved to know what that is. Cuz
Yeah. Totally.
like I mean I've been trying to figure that out for the last 10 years.
It did make
The type of discussion that went on to cause that. I've never been
yeah.
able to figure that out.
Me too. I just been baffled on that when my doctor even like he was just baffled when I had to get reassessed to see if I was still disabled.
Mm-hmm.
And that was going forward under a different administration.
Mm-hmm.
And my doctor's like, well, why are you here? Like,
Yeah.
Brent, I'm busy. I still remember that, Neil. Like my
Mm-hmm.
doctor, like, and he talked to me on a personal level. He goes, Brent,
Yeah.
I've got a job to do. Okay. And my job is a physician. I'm also
Mm-hmm.
a surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do I need to operate on the government? I'm like, excuse me?
yeah.
Well, and he says, I am a surgeon. I work at the hospital. Do they need an operation to understand that
Yeah.
you don't reassess a person once they're disabled? It
Yeah.
doesn't go away. Brent, do you
Mm-hmm.
want your disability to go away? I go, no, I don't know anything different. I'm just who I am. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. He goes,
Mm-hmm.
so they want me to go away as a doctor because I'm going to hold them to account. I'm like, what? He goes, I'm not done with them. So long story short, folks, is when something is broken, the system's broken, you don't go and try and find ways. Let's find ways of from one ministry to another ministry to another ministry, just so we can make it look good for our stakeholders, our gatekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, what it happens is that it puts strain on the healthcare system. Okay, so it's a trickle down effect. You take away the resources, to make yourselves look good, it puts more
Mm-hmm.
strain on the healthcare system. So now people become homeless.
Yeah.
Okay? We had, I remember one of our guests that we had on recently, Neil, and she's still homeless.
Yeah.
99 days.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
I can't believe
this is almost turning into another podcast, Brent.
It is. It is. Yeah.
We probably should wrap it up. But anyway, people should tune in on September 8th, 10, actually not 10:45. That's my time. That's your time, Brent. That's our secret time. 10:55. 10:55.
PST, and that would be 1:55 Eastern time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many topics that we can dive into for sure. I mean, turning this into a podcast, I know we could make a whole episode just.
We really could.
And we probably will. Everybody watching this will. Yeah. We'll do an episode one day soon, and we're gonna dive into a lot of these topics that
how they came to be, like all this.
Yeah, how it came to be, and if anyone, like I say, anyone has any ideas that they would love to hear us talk about, send them to the comments under Neil's tab under daddybentlinks.com. Scroll over to the tab section. Say, what would you like to hear? Would you like to be a guest?
On the media tab. On the media tab.
Yeah. And I mean, definitely send a message out. If you want to be a guest or any ideas, what would you like us to talk about? We can do a segment with the guest, or we can do a segment ourselves for sure. It's all good. It's all about lived experience, and it's all about diving into why did things happen way back when. And I'm really anxious to and excited to hear what Jean Swanson.
Yeah, and I think she has she'll have an opinion on all that, so it'll be interesting.
She will.
Yeah,
and especially under different administrations, right? It's all about like them pointing fingers, right? And they got to stop doing that. They got to stop pointing fingers at each other. The governments work together. Listen to the citizens who you're representing. Yeah, you want their votes, yes, but you need to be honest. You need to be honest with the advocacy. As a politician, your advocacy, our advocacy. Let's work together. Let's make the system better for everybody, right? I don't want to see any more poverty in British Columbia or anywhere in Canada. And that's why you see a lot of advocacy groups. We're all saying no more. Like we're citizens. Respect us. If you want the votes, then you have to command that respect.
Crip the vote.
Crip the vote.